Right now the cast is about getting to this test and root right here. So I have changed a bit of my root command so that I have this test cmd and we have subsidiary test commands, and I have a new cmd test.go file where I want to put those commands. So let me edit cmd test.go, where I will have this new test command. Not much here to get, but I have to get 4 commands here. So you will ask me if I had to do more, how I would do. Well, I will do a function generator, or I also call it a functor. So depending of what we're searching for, and I will build them based off fstat functions. That could be a very good example, to be honest. So new subsidiary test command, and each time it's about we're looking for stage file or unstaged file. So staged, and then we have a class, so it's gonna be some function that returns a boolean for the class of function we want to test here. So it's gonna be very easy how we return that, but first this thing returns a function. It returns a function that takes it returns a function that takes not sure, but I think it will take a file. So let's say file name, or p to be the path string, so a path, and it's return if it's in the stage or out of the stage, or it's return the lists we would like to have. So actually what we like to have here is a function that takes a list of paths, and for each of those paths we will know whether they are inside the stage or not inside the stage, or in the matrix actually. So it's about listing change staged, so it should return, so for a path, for somewhere, for a path, I don't know, it would list like all the file in this paths recursively, and will tell us if it's in it will. So the input, sorry, I'm a bit like messy here, but text whited. So the input will be some path to fetch, from which we actually run get status -s, and from that get status from that get status we would extract so we're taking again like something like a git status over there, git status, so the input will be some path to fetch from, which we actually run git status. And git status, I have a function already inside my cmd cmd root.go, there is an fstat function. This guy here is a structure. I think it's called stats. And stats will be, you just run it and it's running git status dash s, and it will scan the results and build something where we have stage and path. So if we want to list changed staged, we will return a function that will only list those. So this function will only return a list of fstat, let's say, to keep the less information loss possible. And we will then have inside the path, we don't need even a path, like it just return a stat, fstat, and maybe an error. All right. So if we are, so first thing is to have our stat. And if we have an error from there, we would be returning we'll be returning some error, so return nil error. And then we have a list of s. And so I will create another list for me, which will be my response. So var r I can make already, we know we will have at least as much as there is in fstat, so we can allocate already, knowing how much we need to allocate to this list. So make list of fstat 0. The capacity will be len of s. And so for well, the I will be something we increment ourselves, so we can just append to the list. It's 0 of list, so append will normally handles what it have to handle. Hey, sorry, the IDE Bagus. Hi Bagus. Yeah, I'm using Neovide here. It's Neovim. It's somewhere where to run Neovim. I mean, it's Neovim inside of some container called Neovide, and it just makes the cursor move in a funny way. So, for instance, if you see you have like this very smooth, I don't know if you see the smooth like movements of the cursor, and then when you also scroll from a page to another, it's actually pretty cool. How are you doing, by the way, Bagus? So yeah, I'm a Neovim user. And yeah, if you want to see a bit more about this project, I think you can go and search for Neovide. And it's a simple, nonsense, cross-platform graphical user interface for Neovim, aggressively refactored and updated Vim editor. We know about Neovim, it's pretty popular. And for the configuration, it's I'm using telescope. I don't know if you know about the word of Novim. If you are even interested into it, we can take a deeper look inside the configuration. We can even connect to Discord if you like. Um, so anyway, let's go back to this crazy function that returns a functor here. It's a functor. It's a function that makes another function. I wish I had a little more like way to observe my stream, but I don't. It's just I have to get analytics. Watch time per hour. Do I have concurrent views? How your agents engaging, chat messages, reactions, concurrent viewers. Alright, so to 12, no audience retention. Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to have a look at how I can know that I'm actually talking to someone. So I'm looking at this little graphs here for the last 60 minutes of watch time per hour, reach engagement, audience. Not quite sure. Returning viewers, unique viewers, subscribers. But anyway, let's continue. Whatever we were actually doing. Thank you for asking, Bagus. And sorry if there was some delay here. I'm pretty much new for new on to streaming, and that can really be a difficult task actually. All right. So let me get back to this Golang code. So again, what am I trying to do here? Is I want to generate 4 functions. And to generate them like I have 2 parameters. I have changed, untracked, and stage, unstaged. So I have a 2 by 2 matrix of 4 cases, and I want to generate those functions, those commands functions, by creating a little function here. So a little function called like new subsidiary test command. But actually, I was returning. Thank you for making my attention here. But I was actually not being sure what kind of function I has to return. And actually, what I want to return is not a function, but like it's a function that makes a cover command. It's not. I don't want a list here. The function would take care of printing the list of files for me to be able to make my little tests. All right, let's just believe that I'm correct. I want to believe myself that I'm correct, and I'm not really sure that it is. It is actually correct. So I'm going step by step without really being sure that what I'm doing is correct. I'm just trying to believe in myself. All right, so I have some error here, and we have the stat, and I'm making this little list of stat, and this will be actually the this function will return Cobra command where we will have this run e yeah, I know it's unkeyed because alright, do you prefer this way? Yeah, sometimes you're a bit like okay, and I will use here the use here will change because like we will have so the state we'll call it states will be untracked. So class here will be a function, and actually this function needs to return a boolean and maybe a string because I have no idea of what class I am. So and this class function doesn't even return. So I have a problem with my prototype here. Not quite sure it is like a proper way to go through. Maybe first step before trying to make the functor, trying to do the subsidiary functions one by one. So I will start like one by one, and then I will try to maybe refactor this code into a functor. So functor was maybe too hard for me right now. New tests list changed staged. So this is one of the function I would have liked to be able to generate. And for this right now, I see one way that we could have gone through. So new test subsidiary or subcommand. And we will have a class here, and we will have staged instead of a function there for the class. And that will give me, first of all, the name of the function would be something like list underscore. We gotta get a class here. So just a string for the class, and underscore staged. And here we will use is staged instead of staged. So if is staged will be staged. Unstaged otherwise. And this will be as printf. And this will be my class here, and then staged. So that will be the name of the function I want to return first. And that's one little problem. It's not all my problem. And this will like, instead of it could return like a Cobra command, because we already have a function inside my Cobra command. So Cobra command, and I will like here to return Cobra command, and we have use So cover our use, and with use being the name here. All right, and for now, run e would be like to run a function, and depending of the value of class and is stage, we'll need to do an fstat. Maybe we don't need even a functor for that. S error stat if error not nil, return we're just an error in here. And we just have a declare not used variable called s. And for that little s function, we will have some results. So for underscore s range of s, we would have for each one s dot is staged. We have some methods like is stage, modified, untracked, and untracked new file. So now depending of what we have, so we need to have something like untracked or untracked new file, like some function. We give it like we need some function here. We give it like what we would like to do. So is class is some function that will return the boolean, and what we need to give it like it's a prototype looking like it's a function that takes an fstat maybe. So because this list here is a list of fstat, right? So maybe if we take a function that exits an fstat and returns a boolean, then we are okay. So is class of s so if you want to list like unstaged, so depends like if it's staged. So if is staged and s dot is staged, then we can add it to our list. So we can respond to our list. Response is a list of fstat, we'll say. So res equals to append res s. Okay, sorry, I gotta make a little call here. Non, 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 il n'y a pas besoin. Il n'y a pas besoin. Aujourd'hui, il n'y a pas besoin. Il n'y a pas besoin, c'était bon. Oui, c'était bon. Try to get back to constructing this little function here we have. And there is actually, we have it to be is staged, and on top of this is class of s. Then we can append it to the little lists, or we can just print it. And I think there is s.pad or something like this. So with this bigger function here, that is functorized, then it's a functor. It's definitely a functor. It's a function that makes a function from another function, and that returns a function here. Actually, the function is embedded inside the Cobra command. And now I have like 4 functions to add. So, and I will try to add these functions. This result of app is never used. Yeah. Alright, and the new test command, sub command is never used. True. So here I will use cmd instead, and I will return cmd, and I will make the subsidiary commands right here, because what I have here is cmd for tests. We have lists changed, staged. That's gonna be a new test sub command. And this new test sub command is going to take okay, I'm sorry. Did I forgot like so I got to take a new test sub command, taking a class, so the class will be changed. If it's staged, it's true, and then we got a function here. But this function the function that takes a fstat and returns a bool. It's gonna be a function fstat and return a bool. And this function, it will say f dot this one is for changed. So I don't know if we have changed. We have modified. Yeah, modified. Alright, it's already available there. So this one is for changed and staged. Then we have a list untracked. So changed, staged. New test sub command untracked true function So this one will return f dot untracked new file. And then I will have um okay, I'm sorry. I'm just like trying to see concurrent viewers or the length of the video, and it's not clear what I have over here, interacting with the chat or not interacting with the chat. Like, okay. So then, like, so I have these two commands I can generate like this, and I will have as well less untracked unstaged. Like change unstaged. Have fstat bool return f dot modified list untracked unstaged untracked unstaged, and the function will return untracked new file, I guess. All right. And now with all these commands, I will add them to CMD. So cmd.add command list change stage list untracked staged list changed unstaged list untracked unstaged. And this makes a CMD here, a new test command that we're about to get to. So the name will be list underscore class underscore staged, and what I would like instead is to go to a terminal to make some tests. So, And then to automate those tests, okay. So first of all, let's see what has been tested and things like that. I will git check out dev and git pull origin dev. Make sure that it's already up to date. And I will git add cmdtest.go, cmdroot.go, go.mod, go.sum, and I will try to commit. Okay, so here is the suggested command. Add test command with stage and stage file listing. Add a new test command with subcommands to list changed and untracked files in both stage and unstaged states. This will help with testing git status functionality. Add test.go with new command implementation. Add test command to root CLI and add testify dependency for future testing. Alright. So that's a part of what we have done here. And I can push that. So let's do a little test here. We can yag install. And normally I can, if I see git status here, there's only untracked file for my case. So yag test list changed staged. That should be empty. That's okay. So the only one that should give me something, it's list untracked unstaged, and this one doesn't work apparently. None of them is working. So I don't know. This untracked new file, it's supposed to have staged, so it's just untracked. It's not untracked new file. Okay. So I have one that is modified as well, so an unstaged. So if I do yag test list unstaged, sorry, this one will be changed unstaged. Nothing here, so that's weird as well. And untracked unstaged, same thing. Here in both cases I'm using it are not staged, and I see here there's like this is staged. So that's true that is staged and as is staged, but otherwise if it's not is staged, so if not is staged and as dot, and it's actually not in stage, then I can is from the class as, then fmt println as dot path. So let's try this in here. So yak test. First of all, I have yak install, and maybe I didn't install it as well, but I remember I did it here. Git status short. Alright, so yak test list changed unstaged. So it's changed unchanged. This is true. Now if I git add to cmd test.go, that same command should be returning nothing, and now it should be return in less changed staged. Okay, that's not the case. So well, git add. So here I'm testing for is staged, and this command is staged dot stage should be not empty. And then it must be of a class which is changed, and the class I'm using here for change is modified, and modified if fs dot. Okay, so maybe here I have to add little extension fs dot unstage dot stage, sorry, so one or the other is modified. So let me try that. So now we have list change stage is now this one, and it's not unstaged. But we have cmd root now that is being unstaged. So it looks like we have all of the different cases here. Alright, so first step should be to now implement those tests. And I will only add cmd/root.go here. And comment this. So root.dev, Here is suitable commit message fix, improve file status detection in Git operation, include staged modification in modified. Check. Use untracked instead of untracked new file. So yeah, it's untracked new file. For both staged and unstaged files, add a condition to handle unstaged files in test subcommand. This fixes handling of modified untracked files in Git status check, ensuring both staged and unstaged modification are properly detected. So we will for that add a test so to really ensure this is really done. So we have 4 tests to test. First of all, I'm sure there is an issue with staged untracked file. So how do you really know? So I have like untracked new file, for example. Untracked new file. So if stage A and stage empty, this is for untracked new file. This is not a class that I do detect from my test.go. So here I return modified. Here I return untracked, but I guess there will be an issue here. So if I see my git status, there is commits no file I want to actually add and expect main test.go. But this is why I'm creating new test temporary folders here to make the tests, because now the test will not pass 4. So if I do yak test lists, so normally if I go to test 819, in here I have normally a git file. So I can, for example, touch A and I have like git status -s that is different. And here I can just do properly things like I would like to test them and automate them in this folder. So yak test lists untracked unstaged. That's first of all is weird because that's what I should be testing, and otherwise I have untracked staged. So apparently untracked staged, this is for that use case here, is not properly rooted. So untracked staged unstaged, so if it's staged, it should be like untracked new file, I guess. Let's try this. So untracked stage, here it should be empty. Untracked unstaged though, it should be something somewhere. So untracked list untracked unstaged. I don't understand why I don't have this little file here that is supposed to be having this in here. So if not staged, I guess that's this little test here is this is returning true maybe. Because is stage is just like saying that we have the little stage character is not equal to this. Oh yeah, that will not work for our tracks, for example. Because indeed the character is a semi that's a little bit like alright, so I can put this or is a oops or s dot well it's just saying that f dot stage alright or f dot stage is an exclamation mark and is class. So this is an exception here. I'm adding a little exception here to make it relate like a bit better. This is weird though. So untracked, unstaged, that's okay. And if I touch B, git add B, git status. So now we have YAG lists, test lists, untracked, unstaged, that should be A. And when we have lists, untracked, staged, that will be B. Then if we want to make it real, we gotta touch here git commit hello empty and hello empty message. Yeah. Then this open the editor. We have to give it like a message. M requires a value, so alright, so M hi. And actually I have to add C M hi. And now I just want to see the status here. We only have A. Oh, I already also committed like the second guy. And I want to touch C. Echo A to C. And we have C that is modified. So normally git test list changed unstaged should give C. Oh yeah. Okay, and yeah, test list change stage should be giving nothing. Only when I git add C, then this is giving C, and list change unstage is giving me nothing. So we have proper um, tools here to actually test whether but there is the fact that I'm tired. So we'll come back after a little break.